Hey guys, sup, Ryu here for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. Welcome to Coffee Time, your typically released Monday evening, even though it's supposed to be a Monday morning video, because I get super busy in the day. Now, let me just start off by saying I'm terribly sorry I didn't have this video out yesterday. That's mainly because Ryu screwed up the footage by deleting it. It was accidental, it wasn't intentional. Because I was working with about 15 different videos yesterday, so that's probably why it got all screwed up. So let's talk about the possibility and the changes that are needed for the TCG upcoming ban lists. Now, I'm not going to do a prediction list. However, I will not float around the boat, if you would. I will just get straight to the point and mention a few things that need to come back or whatnot. So, before we get into all of that, let me just give a quick little channel update. So, things have been super hectic. I apologize for not having deck profiles out as often as I have been. I kind of got in this mindset that I lost interest in really putting decks together because it gets very toxic or it gets very boring to sit there and have to wait 30 minutes for my opponent to finish their move. And this has happened on Dueling Network recently. For me, trying to go back to Dueling Network because everyone tells me, oh, Dueling Network is great when it comes to competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, it sums up about it. So, this video is for all the 30-minute Dueling Network. And we're just talking about a turn. 30-minute Dueling Network fun. Let's get right into it. So, player interaction. This is one of the biggest key points I will make throughout this entire video. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's just me and Jonathan, aka Yu-Gi-Oh! You hear him on the Council Network. You hear him on Supercouncilgaming. You hear him on Council Gaming. You hear him on the Pokemon Council. Why? Because he doesn't enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! But he enjoys all that. So, just saying, those other channels are always there. For even when you guys feel stressed out about Yu-Gi-Oh! And it does happen. So, let's talk about this whole theory. Ever since the release of Solemn Strike, I have said for the longest of time that it's not healthy to have anything of that sort to be able to nullify your opponent. And we're talking more than just Solemn Strike. And it's been a long time coming. And I know what some of you are going to say. Power creep this, power creep that, where you get good. Meta. But let's take a look at the OCG ban list, and then I'll go into a few things. Now, keep in mind, OCG has not put Solemn Strike on their lists as of yet. They even have Solemn Judgment limited, which is crazy. But remember, OCG is a completely different mindset. So recently, they banned Monkey Board, Lava Little Chain, and Life Equalizer. I can name 2 of those 3 that need to come to the TCG side, just saying. For their limited, Luster Pendulum, Sanguine with the errata. God-awful errata, but with the errata. Performer Pal Pendulum Sorcerer, Performer Pal Skull Crobat Joker, Scarm, Tour Guide, Thousand Eyes Restrict, the Igniter Promancer, the Blasting Drago Slayer, Dante, Dominion of the True Monarchs, Draco Face-Off, Emergency Teleport, Mass Change 2nd, Monster Gate, the Monarch Drawn Power card, Pendulum Call, Reasoning, Wavering Eyes. Now, at this point, some of you are probably saying, but Ryu, it doesn't even matter to you. Oh, yes, it does. Some of us actually get to play this meta when we travel over there, just saying. So, their Unlimited, has just recently gone to Malicious, Glow Up Bulb, Curry Bandit, Mermail Bistrius, Allure of Darkness, Book of Moon, Dragon Shrine, Gold Sarcophagus, Mind Control, and Crush Card. Some of you are probably instantly going, holy crap, the amount of fun you could have there. Keep in mind, they have such cards as Solemn Warning and Solemn Judgment legal together with Paw of Avarice and a few other what-the-fuck cards like Monster Reborn being a thing and Harpy's Feather Duster. So the reason I say player interaction's dead, I'm not referring to OCG and TCG. I'm just referring to TCG in general. And This hasn't been a problem for a while until recently. Ever since Monarchs have been released, ever since we've gotten into this format, all it's really ever been is just locking out your opponent, making the greatest move you can. Now, if you play meta, that's absolutely fine. Drago Pals, Monarchs, Cosmos, they all have ways of playing around against it. But if you play against anything else, it loses its touch. Now, some of you are probably instantly saying, but I play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And your statement doesn't matter. Understand, there's different levels of Yu-Gi-Oh! Play. You're not just stuck on goddamn competitiveness. Not everyone's got time to sit there for 30 minutes on Dueling Network and sacrifice 30 minutes of their life. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. I went and made a fucking sandwich, came back, and then ate said sandwich, then went, used bathroom, came back down. It's on the second floor. And still, the guy was going with Burning Abyss. And yes, it was all legal plays. I had the whole fucking thing recorded. I threw it in the trash because there's no way in hell I'm going to sit there for a 30-minute move. So, when someone complains to me that I only use YGO Pro, because YGO Pro is efficient. You actually get time limited. That's good. So, I want to get into a few things here, though. The OCG top 8 out of a 72 person. Now, keep in mind, OCG Japan is a very, very different environment because the job market is just insane when it comes to trying to get a job out there. It is a completely different mindset than US of A or even the UK or Europe or just anything in general. You guys are probably laughing at me like, hey, Europe and UK, some of that's kind of the same for you. Well, I'm just trying to cover all bases here. It's extremely different. It's very, very strict. Now, you basically go, you work a long time job, certain areas you have to smile constantly. America's not like that. You can pretty much flip off people and fucking get paid. So that's why you want to see like 72 person tournaments, because not everyone has the time to dedicate to a card game, and Yokai Watch and Pokemon are also really huge out there, and so is Duel Masters and about 30 other card games. So just keep that in mind when you think about this. It's not, no means Yu-Gi-Oh! Dying, no means. But the point I'm trying to make is, even from the small sample, you can understand when I go over the top decks, like, holy shit. So Blue Eyes, Mermail, Lantean, Necroth, Speedroid, Burning Abyss, Phantom Knights, which technically is Burning Abyss, Phantom Knights, because only had 3 Speedroid cards that were good generic cards. Marx, and then Blue Eyes again, and then a bunch of randoms. Now, the interesting part about the Blue Eyes, and I will touch upon it, is that it ran no Maiden. No Maiden, no Priestess, just a bunch of big dragons. You ditch them all to the grave and you special summon them all back. It's actually a pretty legit strategy that works. Not gonna lie, I'm not telling anyone not to run Maiden. Mermail Lantean, remember, in OCG, that deck was fucking butchered. Like an eel getting its head chopped off. And then it came back. But as I said, player interaction is pretty dead when it comes to the TCG. Because in the TCG, and I know this is going to cause a goddamn flame war, we don't have the Heavy Storm mindset. Not Heavy Storm, just the goddamn mindset. Now, for those of you who wear your Rocky helmets and don't completely understand that mindset, it's a psychological term that most players understand who've played during Heavy Storm format, where it's, I will get punished if I make a screwed up move. Let's put it this way. If my opponent is able to counter all my back row, I am therefore punished, locked out. Heavy Storm came with this mindset that any point in the game, you can counter set 5. We don't have that anymore. Oh, Twin Twister? I'm only losing 2. I still have 2, 3 more down there, plus my pendulum scales. See the problem? It's not that Twin Twister is the end-all be-all fix. It's a good middle card, I'm not going to lie. But for the TCG, because we're not the OCG here, and I'm not advocating for Harpy's Feather Duster or Heavy Storm or any of that to come back, we need limitations on certain cards that affect back row and interrupt player interaction. Because when you don't have player interaction, the interest for a game that is hitting its 15, 20 years is going to die, and it's going to die goddamn quick. And I know that's not something that everyone wants to hear over and over again, because it's easier to be negative on YouTube. It's easier to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Dying than it is to try to be peppy and actually enjoy the goddamn game at times, because the community gets really fucking toxic. And every time you try to build something, fuck you, that sucks. About right. What I'm getting at is, until Konami steps up, stops the bullshit, and starts actually giving a fuck again, even though what they may tell you in interviews with other YouTubers over Facebook or community groups, that we have these different subdivisions, and in these subdivisions you have the online players. Listen, if you ever heard that interview between Robbie Cole and Julia Hedgeberg, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You are working for Konami. You are a piece of the puzzle. You may not have the power to change some of these things like Kevin Stewart does. I know probably he'll never see this video, but fuck you. When it comes to it, though, it loses its interest for a lot of people, and there is so much competition in the US side that Konami's dropping the ball left and right. They're just pissing people off constantly, whether it be the secondary market, whether it be the DD fans. And no, that's not a cheap shot. Watch yesterday's video that came out last night around 8:30, 9, and you'll see what I mean. And it's kind of one of those things that you're probably just sitting there going, well, it doesn't affect me. I like this format. How many of you really can say you like this format? Because the overall win factor that you want to have number-wise is around 85% of people actually happy with the game. Now, given, even if there was 1%, that 1% is going to be the loudest because they're not enjoying it. They're going to sit in the corner, they're going to cry, they're going to complain. That's just how it is. And now you're probably saying, God damn, Ryu, you sound so goddamn negative. You gotta stop fucking being so negative. Let me tell you something. Sometimes to get your point across, you have to be a complete asshole. Sometimes you have to be straightforward, and you can't sugarcoat things for people who just don't want to listen. And I don't know why you would listen if you didn't care for it. Like it or not, the Monarch cards need to be hit. Solemn Strike needs to be limited. To keep the game flowing, things need to be put in place now rather than later. And if Konami was to drop out a list in April, then cool. Do it then. If you drop out a list in goddamn June, I don't give a fuck. Just put this shit on the list. And no, I'm not salty about running into a goddamn Solemn Strike or a Solemn Warning or even a Solemn Judgment. Yes, I play OCG. Come at me. The problem is that when you come into this mindset that I'm just going to cockblock everything, Magispectors are big on that. Like it or not, it's the goddamn truth. There's too many decks that cockblock everything because they are able to utilize the set 5 mindset. The set 5 mindset is, I'm going to set all my floodgates and tell you, fuck you, you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm looking at Anti-Spell Fragrance, I'm looking at Skill Drain, I'm looking at Vanity's Emptiness, I'm looking at goddamn Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, being in conjunction with each other. Now, it may work for the OCG, because the OCG is all fun, environmental, safety of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's a completely different mindset. It's a lot faster in terms of when shit gets dealt with. It really is. And even in a cross deck recently topped out there. Now, their format's still a little bit young. It's like a fine wine. It's got to settle. You can't just go in and thinking this is going to be the end-all, be-all. You got to wait and see how it comes out at the end. You can't just go in there and say, this is how it is. It's not always that way. I don't have problems with Ghost Ogre Snow Rabbits or Effect Fillers flying around. Hell, I don't even have problems with Light Imprisoning or Shadow Imprisoning, Book of Moons, or Majesty's Fiend or Vanity's Fiend. Because those are all doable. And for everyone saying Monarch Storm 4th needs a limit or needs to be banned, let me just say this much. It was never a goddamn issue until Monarchs got fucking steroid injected with all their cock-blocky fucking spam shit. Like it or not, and I'm sorry if I offend Monarch players, I'm formerly one of you, I put the deck down and I shotgunned it in the fucking face because it just stood for everything I hate about this game. And you may say, you're just a salty piece of shit. That's cool by me, bro. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a salty piece of shit. I'm just trying to get my point across in a discussion video, and you're taking it way too far. I'm just sharing my views. That's pretty much my whole thing. And not every Monday or Tuesday, whenever Coffee Time's uploaded, are you going to completely agree with me. Because you have a brain, you know, and that's kind of a thing that is always going to come out. You have your own thought process, and I'm absolutely cool with that. But somewhere along the line, you'll understand that some of my points are on point, and some of them just may be a little absurd for you. No, I'm not asking for the goddamn OCG lists. I'm asking for Konami to basically help the game live again. Because all the sugarcoat and fairy dust that you throw at us with reprints, we're not fucking stupid. We're not. You may think we are, we're not. Because even if Yu-Gi-Oh! Only lasts another year, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be another card game to take its place. But there will not be a card game that feels like Yu-Gi-Oh! There will not be a card game that comes out that has the same powerful effect on people that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has had. And I think some people said it's 20 years. My numbers are off because I'm too damn hyped for Pokemon. I'm sorry, shoot me. Been there, done that. To the point. OCG is forever its own untameable fucking Dark Souls loving beast. I respect the OCG because I need that once in a while. The TCG I've come to expect more of a competitive aspect, and it needs a healthier format than even the OCG can have. Crazy, I know that. I just said that, right? Crazy, because I'm the guy who always advocates for OCG. But at the end of the day, we all need to walk away knowing one thing. Money talks, and if we use it against Konami, they're going to fucking learn. They're going to learn quick. So if you don't like what they're doing, blow up their goddamn phone. Ask for their number. The community knows it. I have it. I have it on fucking speed dial on my phone. You could check Facebook where I posted a video calling them too, pranking them. Dead serious about that one. That was a while ago, but still. Anyway, besides the point. We have a voice that we can use to Konami where they will listen if we floodgate them back. And the way I'm using the word floodgate is because of what they do to us. Reprinting stuff is cool by me. Don't get me down. Don't take me the wrong way. Don't, flame me, bro. Reprinting shit's dope as fuck. But killing the entire secondary market, that's just bad for business. Because you're taking meat away from people who otherwise would not have that meat. I'm raising my hand, even though you can't see it. I am not one of them. I am not affected by it. Because I am one up on the business every time. I'm sorry, it's just the truth. I make sure. Anyway, I hope you all come just away from this video just knowing that you do have a voice, and just sharing on YouTube videos and complaining about Konami is not going to fix anything, and the best way to do it is honestly to either email them or just be heard in one of their, Facebook where you can't hide it. Because when everyone came together and said, Banlist, 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 and we spam fucked them for 3 straight days over Facebook, over their phones, what do? They spit out a list. So I'm just speaking the truth. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry for the delay in coffee time. I'm Ryu for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe for more. I'm out for now.